give her a nice applause there.
Let me play among the stars. Let me see what's right out. Oh, you better feel mine. In other words, whole life. In other words, hey. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I want for my worship. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
As we go through the programs, that's going to be performing a few meaningful songs that are very significant to Truc. So enjoy that moment. So I was saying earlier, when Truc asked me to facilitate this event, and finally I have a few minutes to introduce myself formally. As you all know, I know Truc's family over 30 years when we came to the United States. And Truc has been my little brother ever since. I have met many of you during the events last year, 365 days ago. And many of you have shared all the wonderful stories and memories that will last in my heart forever. So within the last 365 days, I used that time to reflect. The only word that I could come to my mind was love. You know, I thought I knew Truc a lot. I thought I knew him very well, but apparently I didn't know him much at all until I hear those memories that you guys have brought it to our attention. So thank you for that opportunity. I do truly appreciate it. And you guys painted the picture that what a wonderful brother and a son that we have in our family. Deeply, deeply appreciate it. And I'm sure each one of us is going to have the moment to share those stories. And I'm going to attest that to you guys to see how valid those stories are. So more to come. But beyond that, when Truc asked me to MC or facilitate for this event, I'm like, oh my God. Have you guys ever gone through their family for the decision process? Have you? You guys don't even have a clue. Okay? First of all, they have to go through Dominic. Where's Dominic? This is Truc's youngest nephew. Where's Dominic? Please raise your hand, Dominic. Where are you, bud? He's somewhere outside? I asked him to come in earlier. Oh, he's playing with his lovely girl. Just like his dad. What about brother James? Where's James? This is Truc's Where is James? Raise your hand, buddy. That's Truc. Our son. Choice to get. And next came Truc's niece, Camilla, fam. Camilla, where are you? Stand up, please. Camilla, please. Yes, thank you. And we have Truc's nephew, Kendrick. Where are you, Kendrick? Stand up, please. Don't be shy. Don't be shy, yes. And we have Truc's nephew, Matthew. Where are you, Matthew? Handsome guy. And then comes Kelly. Where are you, Kelly? This is Denise. Yes. And then comes Kaylin. We have to ask Kaylin for permission. Yes, Kaylin. And Kayla, where are you, Kayla? Please stand up. Don't be shy. All right. And I'm sure you know this guy. He was very close to. He is very close to Truc. David, where are you, David? Yes. And of course the niece, Casey. Where are you, Casey? So imagine they have to go through all those layers to ask for permission to have Uncle CD's MC tonight. Now. That's Matthew. I'm sorry, my wife just interrupted me. That's what she does best. So that wasn't done. So the next family I'm going to introduce is very, very significant to the Wins family. They love the Wins family, and they spend every day, every hour, every minute to help. And I want them to adopt me next. So first of all, let me introduce Rick Clooney. Where are you, Rick? Don't forget your promise. You're gonna adopt me. All right, and Kathy Clooney, Rick's wife. Kathy, please stand up. And of course, we have to ask for Lindsay's permission too. Lindsay, where are you? There she is in the backyard. And of course, this is Truc's very significant other. Leslie, please stand up. So do you guys think that's done? No. They still have to go through another layers to make sure that I got the job. So they have to ask Jen, the youngest sister. Jen, where are you? And then comes my one, Timai. Where are you, Timai? Sister-in-law. Yes. And of course, Anduk, they have to ask Anduk too. So let's go. Cheers. Yes. And then Ji-Hai, we call her Deb, or we can call her Kim. Hi, where are you? And of course, again, that's not enough. So they have to go to Troy's wife, sister. Tway, where are you? And of course, the man makes a lot of decisions right here. I don't need much introduction. Oh my God, Troy, please give him a Okay, that's not enough either. So what about Gileu? Where are you, Gileu? This is the other older sister. And her handsome husband just like me. I'm done. But we both look pretty good. And of course, on a serious note, I have to ask Mama Huynh, Truc's mom. Yeah, where are you, Yang? Yeah, we all know Yang. And the man who finalized and signed that contract to have CD to MC tonight is Papa Huynh. cậu môi thì cậu muốn.
Nếu vậy bây giờ trường hợp cái ly đó cậu cháu mình chia làm đôi là một cái điều rất là vinh hạnh. Mà còn nếu như con không chia là con ham muốn.
Cậu muốn con finish cái MC tối nay không?
Cái đó là cậu đâu quan trọng.
Ok, vậy con cậu mời thì con uống thôi, cái đó là cái vậy con mời cậu trước.
Cảm ơn. Nghĩa là thân bằng quận hiếu đạo của tôi đã đến đây tham dự cái ngày một năm của con tôi được lên. Nó đã để lại cho tôi rất nhiều cái sự cảm xúc, nhưng hôm nay tôi không cảm xúc nổi nữa. Thành thật cảm ơn quý vị, bạn bè, thân hữu cũng như những người bạn bè của con tôi thật thật cảm ơn.
So on behalf of the family, I'm very, very honored and appreciative with your presence tonight. That speaks volume. It means a lot to us. That speaks something about our little son, Truc, and your presence tonight speaks the volume. So thank you very much for being here tonight. So the next speaker that I would like to introduce is Jared Cash. Is from Mitchell Institute.
Good evening, everyone. It's a true honor to be here tonight. Among so many of us that were touched by Truc's life that was so phenomenal, I got the amazing opportunity to meet Truc in 2011 when I first joined the Mitchell Institute. And he had been associated with the Mitchell Institute already for 10 years. I was really struck tonight, I want to look back here, that they had kept the original letter that welcomed him to the Mitchell Institute. And this was in a day when Senator George Mitchell actually helped chair the selection process for some of the earlier classes. And I was struck by how close all of our background material in the office and knowing Truc, how close he looked up to the senator with similar stories with their families immigrating to the U.S. And the senator wrote to him in 2001, and it says the perfect words: "Congratulations, you've been selected as a recipient of the Senator George Mitchell Scholarship Award." When I established this scholarship program, my intention was to reward high school students from every part of Maine for their scholastic achievement and community involvement. I did so because for our society to continue to exist as a democracy, we need individuals who have the knowledge and understanding that we are not alone in this world, but part of a community that needs everyone's involvement to make it whole. I've said many times that as Americans, we're the most fortunate people who have ever lived, to be citizens of the most open, most free society in all human history. There is no limit to how high and how far one can go with a good education and a willingness to work. I hope that you will continue to prove that. As a Mitchell Scholar, you strive for excellence, not only in academics, but even more importantly, the community spirit you have developed so well in your high school years. Again, congratulations, and I wish you the best of luck, George Mitchell. It's hard to summarize the impact someone like Truc has had on all of us, but I can certainly say, and I know I can say it with some of his peers from his own class years, that Truc may be the very most influential Mitchell Scholar of the 3,400 we've ever named since 1995. And truly. For a few reasons. Truc came into the program at a time when we weren't sure how we were going to design the program. And it's very apparent to me, after looking at how engaged he got right out of the gates. 2001, he was named a Mitchell Scholar. In 2002, he was at our gala ball giving the remarks, talking about how much he had taken advantage of in the program. Not a surprise. He's been a rock star since he arrived here at 9 years old. It's amazing what he accomplished. But what we all know about him is he drew the potential out of each one of us. He was who I called my great encourager, me personally. He always seemed to be like the guardian angel that came along at the right moment when you had a little self-doubt, and he'd pull something outside from within. He would pull something from within you and show it to you and say, you can do this, you're the right person for this. And I believe, looking at the programs and how we had to make a decision whether we were going to start doing programs that help the scholars meet each other, that there was no better Mitchell Scholar than Truc Huynh to help those scholars connect with each other and to create new community. So that's number one reason. And I think today it's one of the reasons that so many of our scholars succeed, because we invested through his example in creating community and creating a lot of that. Second of all, something that we announced last September was little knowledge to just a few people in the office. But Truc was the very first Mitchell Scholar to pay back his entire Mitchell Scholarship to the organization. And so we have never honored an alum in our history of 28 years. The last fall, we decided to name the Truc Huynh Alumni Legacy Society in his honor, that commemorates now over 14 Mitchell Scholars who have followed in his footsteps and who have also paid forward their entire Mitchell Scholarship. So the next So with that, I just want to speak from the heart, and I was so moved by the meditation earlier. I feel like Truc is always with us in different times, and you know, he called me his brother. Now I know that was a term that we throw around. But he always made me feel great about who I was and what we were doing for one another, and it's been a true honor to meet Kevin, Troy, Kim, Jen, and the whole Huynh family. Now I remember my final comment. When he was trucking across Maine, a Mitchell Scholar, who was a journalist major, ran out on the road and interviewed him and did a story and asked him, why do you do all this? You know, he was always constantly fundraising for wonderful organizations. And I'm paraphrasing a bit what I think was happening between this scholar and Truc. And the words that he said, and this is a tribute to your family, the Huynh family, he said, my family always instilled in us two values, charity and compassion. And I think that summarizes it. So I'm here to really thank and honor Truc Huynh for the amazing impact that he gave our organization, which touches thousands of Maine students across the state. But I'm also here to thank the Huynh family for being such an amazing influence, because I can see it not just in Truc, I can see it in your whole entire family. So charity and compassion, you're a wonderfully loving family that we all admire and adore. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jared. So the next speaker I would like to introduce, unfortunately Chris Pye could not make it tonight. He's from Unum, but to represent him we have Joe Cusack, who's here.
Yes, Yes, as CD mentioned, Chris Pine had every intention to be here, but got pulled away in a family matter. All is good, all is good. And he's going to make every effort to be here by the close of the ceremony. For those in the audience I do not know, my name is Joe Cusack. I've been fortunate to know Truc Huynh since our first introduction at Denny's here in Portland in the spring of 2005. And I jumped at the opportunity to read Chris's comments, and I'll sprinkle in a few of my own observations on the spirit of Truc Huynh. So just to set the stage, these are Chris Pine's words. I don't want the audience to think that I refer to myself as in the third person as I go through his comments here. Truc's Remembrance by Chris Pine. I'm so grateful, Leslie, Troy, and the entire Huynh family for giving me the chance to join and participate in the celebration of our dear friend, Truc. It is humbling to say the least when your charge is to capture the spirit of such a great person, and to do it in a manner that Truc deserves. Before I got overwhelmed preparing, it was the voice of Truc in my head that settled me down, knowing that Truc was the least judgmental person that I knew. If I gave it my best shot, Truc would accept the effort and be grateful. So once again, Truc, thanks for making me feel better. Career introduction. My friendship with Truc was centered on career. Those that know both of us, our careers are extremely important. It is no surprise that we would bond through the profession we both chose. The journey that Truc took me on, however, was one I did not expect, but is one that epitomizes why being well engaged in life, including career, can be so rewarding. I met Truc at career night at Bowdoin College. Bowdoin is a special spot for me, and connecting with someone of Truc's talent turns out to be just another reason I think it's such an exceptional place. As I mentioned, I was at career night, and I was with colleagues who were representing different areas of Unum. There were Unum colleagues from finance, claims, legal, underwriting, actuary, just to name a few. And I was representing the field sales, which is more of a deal-making side of the business. Truc was seated in the front row, and many of you know this story already, but there Truc was in a t-shirt and shorts, where his peers were all in professional attire. And this was not a Lululemon $120 t-shirt for fashion. It was truly a t-shirt, and I'm pretty sure the last wash was a couple wears ago. Truc had a notepad and pen, and he sat in the front row. He had questions for all the presenters, took notes throughout the session. I did not think he was there to get a job. Maybe he was there just to do a paper on career nights or something else. Long story short, Truc stunned me by walking straight up to me after the presentation and telling me, "I like your stuff." I told him how to follow up, and this was a test to see if he was serious. By the way, I have run this test many times, and most people fail, but Truc did not. In fact, he did exactly what I told him to do. So I decided to support him and began the hiring process, which is a fairly grueling process. He had a formal interview with Joe Cusack, who saw the same raw material. We decided to advance Truc to our regional assessment day, affectionately known as the RAC. Joe and I knew we needed to frame up the RAC for Truc, so he was prepared to go and compete for the job. So we took him for breakfast at Denny's in Portland and told him that he was going to the Unum RAC, but he needed to make some changes to give him a better chance of success. Now, I have to give Unum credit here. Without training, I would have dismissed Truc as being unprepared because he did not take the time to clean up before the original career night. The training we received in Unum's management program was never dismiss a candidate for something that is coachable. And it's Truc. We can coach a kid on what to wear to a business meeting. As it turns out, Truc had so much jammed into his productive and full engaged day, that time for a trip to change seemed less important than immersing himself in all the activities he had scheduled for that day. This was a window into who he was and the purity of how he thought. What was really important? In the end, the competence and passion he demonstrated, things I don't know how to coach, were the right things to focus on, and I'm glad I was not overly distracted by the miss on the professional attire. At times, it took a village to coach Truc. Joe Cusack, John Perry, Terrence Ryan all played active roles in working with Truc. Coaching him on all these things that just make it all work in the corporate world, which was a lot of work and at times frustrating. But Truc taught Joe and me to bet on the quality of the person, not the shiny veneer, which can camouflage the lack of depth. I'm grateful to both Huynh and Bowden for introducing me to someone as special as Truc at that very first career night. When Truc stopped working at Huynh, he never left, he just stopped working for us. He sent me a note which referenced the Denny's breakfast. He said, "I owe a great debt of gratitude to you, Joe, and Huynh for giving me a chance despite my white socks and etiquette, or the lack thereof, at that Denny's meeting." Truc's success as a business person is a great story. I don't have a way to capture exactly how to describe it, but many people are not wired to earn people's trust and make deals happen that are good for the customer as well as the company. And Truc had this skill. And if there was one thing we all knew, he could build relationships. I admire how many different members of the business community were Truc believers. He brought out the best in people, and I'm happy to report that for those who knew Truc and loved him, Truc was as a son, a sibling, and friend. His business relationships were no different. Personality at work. Truc did bring some personality to work, which is something we all enjoyed. I remember the time he shared that special hot sauce, which he added to food like I do a little salt and pepper. Any more than a pin drop of that stuff was a borderline dangerous. We all tried it and did not handle it well, providing Truc's palate was far more industrial than any of ours. And I'm fairly sure Truc knew it would absolutely torture us, and he had a good laugh at all our expense. On a bet, Jason Willett went for more than a pin drop, and I thought we were heading to the emergency room. Fortunately, Jason survived, but I'm not sure he has ever regained the sense of taste. Then there was Truc. Then there was the time Truc was trash talking about his basketball dominance. He was young and confident and decided to challenge two senior reps, Chris Sawyer and George Sells, on a 2-on-2 game. He guaranteed nobody could stop his signature ankle-breaking crossover, a move that he honed on the outdoor courts here in Portland. When issuing the challenge, I believe he knew Chris was a college basketball star following a legendary career in Maine High School, and George was a former high draft pick in the Major League Baseball. Even if he didn't know that they had real athletic chops, I'm sure he could tell that both Chris and George were each a 1.5 feet taller than him. But in true fashion, he showed not an ounce of fear. Funny, we never did find out the official score of that game. We loved his personality in the Boston, Portland offices in those early years of his very successful career at Huynh. Impact on others. There were many times that Truc's energies to help others beyond the workplace showed up at work. His Trucking Across Maine campaign was my favorite. I was able to show my kids the video of his tour of all the people and communities that he touched and proudly say, this is the type of person I get to work and to spend time with. I think it helped my kids think about others and make some sense about why I'm so proud of my Huynh friend. Truc would also often discuss his potential political career ambitions with Joe Cusack, who would support his ambition, but reminded him of all the good he was doing with his personal and financial success as a Huynh sales rep. Honestly, I know no other rep in our organization we can point to as much impact that Truc had on his financial success and corresponding generosity to those people and organizations that he cared about. Truc's many ties to the community organizations were well documented and inspirational. He appreciated the support he received and gave it back in multiples. Truc working with Huynh as a partner. In his most recent position, driving New Life here in the U.S. market, he and I had the chance to have breakfast meeting at the Sheraton. After catching up personally, two things happened at that breakfast. First, he presented a well-organized, compelling presentation outlining all that New Life had to offer. I was interested in what he had to say, and even more so, I was impressed by the depth and quality of his approach. I would be lying if I did not say I had some pride in how far he had come professionally. From that original breakfast at Denny's 16 years earlier to now, it was the same Truc, the person, but someone who has clearly never stopped growing as a professional. When I went back to pay the check, I realized that he had gone out of the way to make sure that it was a treat, his treat. Truc knew that our norm, given that I was the older and always more senior in the company, was that I treated him in these situations. But he had prepaid the bill to be sure that there was no confusion that he was treating me. Professionally, he had come so far. I think he wanted me to know he was grateful and perhaps to show me how much things had changed in our relationship. The look of satisfaction of being able to beat me to the check was priceless. I could go on and on. I don't have a great way to close my remarks, but I will end by saying that it was a privilege to have Truc as a friend, Huynh colleague, but what made Truc different was that he was also an inspiration. So those were Chris's comments. In preparing my own comments for this evening, there are many stories to share. Everything from burning his foot on the George Foreman grill, having the Secret Service ready to take him out, and I was glad to see the photo was up on one of the boards back there. Glad to share that story with folks if they want to. Or even crashing my 50th birthday party. We all have special memories of Truc. In my conversation with my wife, Erica, she captured the spirit of Truc best. Erica recalled a time when we were walking back from dinner at one of Huynh's conferences. Truc was having a conversation with Kevin Fenn's wife, Karen Fenderson, with a number of us only a few steps in front of them. In true Truc fashion, he said loud enough for all of us to hear, "Karen, you're my favorite," which resulted in an immediate response in unison from all the spouses to turn around, "I thought I was your favorite." This truly captured the spirit of Truc, the essence of Truc Huynh. He had an incredible, uncanny ability to build connectivity and make everyone feel special. Truckles, you are our favorite, and we miss you dearly.
Wow, Truc, I can see his face right now, seriously. Can you visualize it, Truc? Yeah. Before we can introduce the next speaker, Bess is back performing our next song, Summer Wind.
Recording here, you'd rather go
Keep blowing from across the sea. You're there to touch your hair and walk me. All summer long we sang songs, then we strolled back on the sand to sweethearts and the summer. Like painted kites, those days and nights they went gliding by. Worlds was new beneath the blue of the sky. Then softer than a vibrant, one day he called to me. I lost you to the sunset. On the wind and winter winds, they're coming home. Still the days, those lonely days, go on alone. Yes, the sun is the lullaby to nights that never end. I've been so stressed. Summer wind, the summer wind, summer wind, summer wind.
So we all know Truc has a lot of childhood buddies and friends and close friends and brothers, he also called. So the next person I would like to bring up to give a speech is Patrick Talbot. I'm sorry if I couldn't get your last name right, but
Perfect.
So when Troy
When will you start
asked
crying?
me to speak, I let him know immediately that I'm the worst speaker in the world. And I can't, just, see, already can't talk. I'm not good at it. So, fair warning. And then he said, just speak your heart. I'm like, yeah, that's the problem. But, and that's it. I was just, it's kind of just, we kind of just put a compilation of, he just wanted to tell some stories. We're younger and just give a little look at that. And just doing that, I just want to stop for a second. When he passed away, and we had it was 3 days to do the obituary. Nate Cutting just crushed that. I don't know if you guys who saw the obituary, but can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you.
And just think of being like that high stress, you just get awesome. Anyway, all right. So when I first met Truc, it was in elementary school, fourth grade, and so he was the biggest, strongest person any of us did. He was just a full-grown man, just taller than all of us, just built like a rock, and he was just and
He's really
just
16.
full-grown, taller than all. I have pictures of people that were D1 athletes. I'll show it after. But anyway, and then he was actually very quiet and soft-spoken, but he was, would go out and play, in the playground. He would always basketball. He loved basketball, and he was actually a very talented artist. I don't know if anybody knew that. He was very talented. He would, between classes, just go on the chalkboard and draw this picture of Michael Jordan, just very just look, it was just looked professionally done. And as a kid, it was just realistic, dunking the ball, all this stuff. He was just a great artist too. So I don't know if anybody knew that, but that was one thing about him. But in class, he was, had this laser focus. He was just solid, eyes forward, paying attention, just had that focus. And so, like I said, we would hang out, we'd play sports, but he still was kind of reserved. I was looking at a picture of when we went to, for my birthday party, we went to the Dream Machine. And I have that picture too. He's still just straight-faced, and kind of just reserved. And so, during one of my classes, 4th or 5th grade, I think it's 5th grade, so I'm just looking at him as he's 4, and I'm like, I could see there was just more in there, right? So, in his eyes, and I'm like, how can we get this out? So another friend of ours, Quentin, on the other side of him, kind of looked back, and I'm like, we gotta hurt him. That was it. Physically try to hurt him, just get some sort of reaction. That's the only thing I could think of. But again, he's just so big, it was just hard, It's like, picture you're a dad with a 4-year-old kid having a tantrum. You're pounding on his chest trying to hurt him, and just nothing. He's just at work, he's at school, just nothing. So, and then one day, I got on my 2 knuckles, right here, if you don't mind, chest and back, twisted it, right? And he just does this, ah! Oh, and they're just funny, because he just, first outburst ever, talking during class, didn't say a word, but if it wasn't, from the teachers, and then from that moment, he just loosened up, got him to talk a little more during class, he would just kind of, our social. So we always had a standing joke about that, because, where he is today, or where we got with his career and how successful he was, that I always said that it was he owed me for that. So anyway, and that's probably why the thing how he does that thing with his back. That could have been that too. I don't know. But we'll just focus on the career, his success, and anyway. So that was going on middle school. We would stay at 182 Mass Ave for 5 days in a row sometimes. Just like, you know, it was like that area was almost like a second neighborhood, you know, so right there, they got John Coutier next door, and go to Nate's house, and Pat Conley, and a few other people in the neighborhood, and that was, one of the things we would do most, I think around that age, was we would go to Hollywood Video and 7-Eleven and just a bunch of junk food and watch movies, loved watching movies, and so Truc's favorite movie ever was Count of Monte Cristo, right? And which my brother Timmy actually introduced us to, and because it was his favorite. But before then, it was Don't Be a Menace to South Central while drinking your juice in the hood. Saw that one, but and The Sixth Man. So yeah, apparently he was a big Marlon Wayans fan. So that was his guy. But anyway, so it's kind of which weird of his sayings. So you ever know the Truck has his sayings and things. Then that kind of started when you know, before it was like Must Be Nice and, you know, Thanks for the Memories. It was Bone Check and that's the baby's lunch. Which, you had to see the movie probably to get the joke, but the point is he's come a long way since then. He improved when he started it, and I'm just gonna, I don't know how long we have, so this next one I'm just gonna fly through the cliff notes of this next story. It's phone calls, and it's okay, phone calls, how they went, 761-7993. Mom answers, bad boy, Truck's sleeping, Truck not home, and then hands it to Truck, and we have a full conversation. He just grunts, not one word. You know? You know, and then we, you know, figure out what we're gonna do, and he says, "All right, hurry up and buy it, get in." You know, so. And it was funny too. So we always the term "bad boy," we always, Truck's mom would always use for us, and. Term of endearment for sure, but I realized as I'm writing this, I never put it together that whenever I had friends over at my house, my mom's, always her line is, "You corrupting my son?" And I realized it's pretty, it's pretty much what she said, bad boy. So from there we got older. Thank you. All right. So, more sports, football, rugby, group stuff on hay rides, foreign exchange students, Keezer Falls, Club Saco, and then he went off to college and branched out, exponentially from there. And he has some college kid friends that are gonna speak soon that will tell you more about that. But Truck, if you're close enough to know him, you're bound. If you're close enough, you're bound at least one stint of a stubborn, silent treatment from him. Where you're not talking to each other for a moment, and you get there. So we had one once for a bit, about 7 years ago. Real stupid, did whatever, when my brother passed away, he was like the first one to stop by the house. Just, everything just boom, came right over. It was right there, settled everything, and you get that. I just remember when he walks in, it was that like, no words, just, just how you forget it, and it just puts that, it's unfortunate that, sometimes it takes a tragic event to, bring people together and give you that perspective, but, that was one of, but like, I'm not a motivational speaker, but I would, speaking of perspective, it just, just to think about that, like how many of those things that you're holding on to for really nothing. And the math nerd in me, the thing, so when you're 1 year old, right, a year is 1 out of 1 of your life, right? So when you're 2, it's 1/2 of your life, 3, right? If you add that up, go up to 10, just 10 years old, that adds up to around 3. If you keep doing that to like 80, it adds up to 5, right? So if you really add how small things are compared to like, you're halfway done perspective-wise, your life at that age, you know, that there's really not much, you know, so just, if there's any, you know, little thing that you can knock off the list and not be worried about, it's really not worth it, you know? So, anyway, so Truc, you know, he's amazing. I can't remember it, man. You know, so he was determined, charitable, influenced people. He was an entrepreneur, but again, you know, as we all mentioned, you know, it's always family first. And so, Papa Huynh, Mama Huynh, Bayou, we, you know, you guys raised an amazing family, and I love you guys, and thank you. Yes, thank you for just everything that you've done for me and giving me one of my best friends. And I just, there's a lot of talk, you know, we get, everybody holds Truc in such high esteem, as we should, but, you know, there's talk where people, you know, you're like, well, he's the best, and like, it all came from, you know, it's the family, you know, that whole journey, and everybody has that, the same, like, from just in everyone, you know, we're all Truc, you know, it's the wins, it's all new, and it just, you know, you talk about the, you know, this charity and stuff. I remember think of when we were in like 6th grade, we had a bottle drive, and we gave about $100 in bottles to, you know, just like that's instilled in him from whatever. So, and when he passed away, so I spent a lot of time there. When he passed away, there was a lot of tears, a lot of just trying to remember how to breathe right, but I could still, you know, like function. And then until after it was the first Monday meal, I sat down, it was like just a total breakdown. It just hit me, and I didn't, not only was it just sad, I just didn't realize the impact of just, it was so casual, you know. It wasn't like, you know, sometimes you're a kid, you're like, hey, can Pat stay over? It's like, oh, let me talk to my parent, you know. It's just like none of that was even, it's just so welcome that you didn't even, you know, it didn't even really impact until it all hit me at once. So, so where I'm going with that, but I guess the last thing I will kind of share. Sorry, this isn't much of a flowing thing, and just kind of some thoughts, but like this. So speaking in the past year since then, you know, there's no like real words. And it just, you know, just doesn't seem possible, you know. But I get these super vivid dreams of, you know, where he's there, and I just, you know, it's like, yeah, okay, yeah. I knew it didn't really happen. No, you know, it wasn't real because this is it right here, you know. And then, it's funny too because I've always used the term like, oh, I had a dream last night. You were in my dream, right? That was all I always ever say if anything happened, but. Now it's you know, Truc visited me in my dreams, like not even thinking those words, that's just how they came out. It just feels different. But we had so we would always have that touching, you know. So it's amazing how he's still reaching out, touching you. You know, he's not here, but we would have this. So we'd be talking. This is how the dream usually goes. He's cooking, obviously just cooking, helping do whatever we're talking about, just life, all these other things, and always happens where and everything's real at this point, then he turns around, and then it hits me that it's a dream. I just, you know, like, try to hold it together, because when he turns back around, I don't want him to know, you know, but you can't get it by him. He's like, oh, what's wrong? What's up? I'm like, no, nothing. You know, now that, like, don't want to tell him, break it to him that this is just a dream. But he just thought, he's not letting you out without it, you know, so, and then, you know, what's wrong? You know, let's talk about it. Let's get you through this. And it usually ends with something like, you know, some sort of like, what can Brown do for you? And then I just wake up and just smiling with face full of just tears everywhere. And, you know, but anyway, I love him, miss him. And just again, just you guys are such an amazing family, and thank you so much for everything.
Truc. Thank you, bad boy. That was beautiful. Thank you, Patrick, for sharing the great memories. Now I would like to introduce Melissa Silly from Apex Youth Connection.
Hello, good evening. I'm so honored to have this opportunity. I mean, if you look around and you listen to these stories, it's incredible what an impact this man had. And I guess I am here in part because I saw a little bit different side of Truc in that I was executive director of Susan Curtis Foundation and Camp Susan Curtis, and then I became executive director of Apex Youth Connection. And so I've seen the Truc's philanthropic side. I've seen that side of him, and wanted to share just a little bit about that because it was quite extraordinary. I met Truc in 2012 when Maine Association of Nonprofits held a session around what does it mean to be on a board. So of course Truc signed up. He wanted to learn what it means to be on a board. And he was in one of my panel sessions where I was the presenter. And similar to your story, I think it was, about the experience at Bowdoin, he came up after it and said, would you have lunch with me? I'd like to learn from you. And I'm thinking, sure, absolutely, I'd be happy to. I had absolutely no idea that Truc would learn very little from me. I would learn so much from him. And that was much of our relationship, was learning from Truc and learning about how to be a different professional from Truc, and learning how to be a different person from Truc. And that, I guess some of the things that I remember clearly about what that was like for me was I learned about generosity in a new way. I learned about it's not just the money. Of course it's the money. It's important. The money is important, and believe me, Truc gave lots of it. He brought people, when I was with Susan Curtis, he brought a full table every single year, and they were the last ones to leave. And they were so supportive, and every time when I'd be standing up there presenting, and I would look down, I would look at Truc, and Truc would just be beaming at me. So those of you who felt like he made you more, he brought the best out in you, he did that for all of us. He certainly did it for me. And so that was one piece of that was so powerful. I also learned a lot about just loyalty. When I left Susan Curtis Foundation and I went to Apex Youth Connection, Truc said, I'm thinking, well, you're a Susan Curtis donor, so you're gonna stay with them. And he was, oh no, I'm going with you. And there was never a hesitation, there was never, so why did you do this? Why did you do that? It was just unconditional. You're going there, I'm going with you. About humility, I learned about humility, where Truc would say, I would ask him again and again and again, would you please join my board? You'd be so great. Come on, I met you learning about boards. Come on, join my board. He would always decline and say, I don't need to be on your board. You have me. Don't use up a spot for me. You have me. You have my support. I mean, amazing. Every birthday, he would, as you all know, he would do something. His last birthday on this planet, he was at Apex. And some of you that were there are here now. David, are you still here? David was there. And I will forever be so grateful that last birthday, he was with me. It was pretty cool. So that was very powerful. I learned and am still learning, and I hope I never stop learning about gratitude from Truc Huynh. That he understood. It's interesting, I was just talking about this with my husband this morning. He understood about the most important thing. And so many of you have referenced this. He understood that most important thing about, he would look you in the eye when he would be talking with you about something that might be concerning you, or something that was difficult, or something that was wonderful, and he would look right in your eye. And you knew he was talking to you about the most important thing. And he understood the most important thing. It took me, I still haven't learned it the way Truc knew it, and the way Truc understood it. But I'm trying, and I'm committed to figuring it out because he could do it. And so I think that was a really big piece of it too. And again, I will continue to try to do the same. He helps me remember a lot that the kids, it's all about the kids. And when I get caught up in other things, it's all about the kids. And his focus and his laser-like, you were talking about that, no, somebody else was talking about his laser-like, Patrick. His laser-like focus when in class, just that laser-like focus around, it's about the kids. It's about, that most important thing. And that was such a beautiful gift. I think a lot about ripples when I think about Truc. I think about ripples in water. And I think about how Truc gave me gifts of that gratitude and of trying to understand the most important thing. And in turn, I can share that, and it ripples out to the youth that I serve. And it ripples out from them to the people that they touch. And it ripples out from them, and it ripples out from them, and that's how I think about Truc all the time. And I think that is quite an extraordinary, for me, quite an extraordinary image. So I don't know the family, I don't know you very well, but I am so grateful to have met him, to have had him be a small part of my life. Clearly, he's changed my life, and he's changed the lives of all the children that I serve through his impact. So thank you for giving me the chance to share that. Oh, one last thing, he's continuing to change this world, and he's continuing to make an impact. And that's never gonna stop, because those ripples are still going, and that's pretty beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you. That's very true. He'll continue to change. So the next two speakers are his rugby buddies from Bowden, Luke Flanagan and John Green.
So I'm John Green from St. Paul, Minnesota.
No.
First of all, thank you to the Huynh family and everyone here for sharing in the celebration of Truc's life. Truc changed my life. I think that's one of many things that we all share. I'm learning more about that as the moments go by here. I came to Bowdoin College in 2003 with no idea what to expect about life out of Minnesota. I had been to Maine on a road trip with my parents the summer before. That was my first time east of the Mississippi, basically. And I got to school, I was playing lacrosse. I felt so out of place. The only thing I wanted is to get out of there. It wasn't what I expected. I had culture shock, and I didn't think culture shock could even happen going from Minnesota to Maine. but it was real. It was real. And my freshman year roommate was this Irish kid from Yonkers, New York, Cheddar Jack Clancy. And he was a rugby player, of course. So he kept telling me about the rugby team. And I'd be going to lacrosse practice and just struggling and struggling and struggling. And one day we were at the dining hall and he introduces me to Truc. Immediately, I felt so welcomed. Immediately I felt this strong connection with Truc. And I'm not even gonna try his beautiful voice, his accent. It'll always ring in my head. But he goes, Greenie, come to 40. We're having a party. Meet the rugby guys, see what you think. We can take it from there. So 40 was the rugby house, and the address was actually 40. Like, it didn't really have anything to do with beer. There was some beer there. So I walk into this house. It was a classic rugby house. Beautiful. And there's Truc. He's not the oldest guy on the team. You know, not the biggest guy on the team, but he was the biggest personality there. He was a magnet to everyone. And I was shocked and I felt so at home. And the remark earlier about Truc never judged anyone, I felt that so strongly. He saw my vulnerabilities, he knew how I was feeling, and he embraced me. And along with that, the whole of the rugby team embraced me. I quit the lacrosse team the following Monday, walked into the coach's office. He wasn't very happy. I don't think he was that mad either. I don't think I was really gonna get a lot of playing time. But I was so stoked to join that rugby team. And Truc, I had no idea what I was doing on the pitch. Truc showed me everything. He introduced me to people who could teach me certain skills, and this was both on the pitch and off the pitch. And from then on, that rock, sometimes life gives you rocks. Sometimes life gives you diamonds. That rock turned into a diamond. And forever, Truc will be that diamond for me, sparkling like a diamond.
As John mentioned, we met Truc playing rugby, and on the field, he was a little human wrecking ball, and the guy was so intense. I know maybe in 4th grade he was the biggest guy. In college, not the biggest guy, but you wouldn't have known it. He certainly didn't act like he knew it. And I think he had more tackles than the entire team combined. Yeah. And what's funny is after the refs blew the whistle and the match was over, everyone would take a knee and catch their breath except Truc, because he was as much of a leader off the field as he was on. As John was alluding to, like, the biggest personality at the rugby house. If you want to find us to hear some stories afterwards, also Coach Scala knows some, but if you wore a jersey, after the game you were in a toga. He pulled in his culinary connections to make sure that there were ice luges at our socials. But much more than that, he just made sure absolutely everyone was included. The rugby team was a bunch of misfits who didn't have homes on other teams, and he knew that more than anyone. And anytime any of us started thinking like, oh, we're having a winning season, and it got to our heads, and if anyone was acting arrogant or exclusive in any way, Truc nipped that in the bud. He did not tolerate that at all, and he really defined and embodied the spirit of Bowdoin rugby by making sure everyone who wanted to could step on that field and was a teammate. He was the lifeblood of the team that way. And over the past year, I've been thinking a lot about Truc and trying to just comprehend everything as all of you have. And it's kind of settled as I've been trying to really think what Truc's superpower was, because he clearly had one. At first I thought because he was culinary it might have been cooking, but if you lived with him at the 121 when he went through his deep fryer phase, then you definitely know it wasn't cooking. I still have clothes that smell like grease. And then also, if you lived there, you know his superpower was not bartending, unless you really liked tequila and hot sauce, which I'm sure some of you have had. But as a lot of people tonight have talked about, his superpower was looking you dead in the eye and making you know that you have a superpower. he saw that in you, and he would not let you say no to that. He would just bring it out of you, and he would do everything that he possibly could to make sure that you would know your potential and then live up to it. All right, now I have to check my notes. Sorry. Thank you, Bob. And finding that superpower, everyone, I mean, everyone has talked about that tonight in their own words, and just that depth of relationship. You can just, a normal person could not foster this many deep relationships. They could not fit this much caring in people in 24 hours a day, but he did that with every single person here. And it really makes me think that a life is not measured in years, but in relationships. He seems to have transcended time by being able to be like such an inspiration and such a powerful force in everyone's life. And you can't fit that in a single dimension like time. And just thank you all for letting me be a part of this and being in this room. I feel like I can see a reflection of him just based on all the super deep relationships here. So just thank you for that.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Luke. So we know that Truc loves rugby. Growing up, I know that he loves football, and he was a big kid compared to all of us. So what does he listen to when he played those sports? What pumped him up? What is his favorite song?
I Am the Tiger.
Yes, Ryan. Yes. So with that being said, that's gonna perform his favorite song, I Am the Tiger.
They coached you.
They put on the tee.
We want to have you play Truc's favorite songs. There's going to be Frank Sinatra, there's a Louis Armstrong song coming up, but he said, #1 song you have to play. I'm tired. I think I can do that. Maybe it's a little different than the original, but I'm going to be trying.
Happy birthday next week. Happy birthday next
Rising up back in the street, I did my time, took my chances. I went the distance, now I'm back on my feet. Just a man and a got to survive. So many times, happens too fast. You change your passion for glory. Don't lose grip on the dreams of the past. You must fight just to keep them alive. It's the I am the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight. Rising up to the challenge of a rival. And the last not to fight is such a crying the night. And he's watching us all really hard. A tiger. Face to face, out in the heat, hanging tough, staying hungry. They stack cards till we take to the streets for the kill with the skill to survive. It's the eye of the tiger, it's the thrill of the fight, rising up to the challenge of a rival. And the last not to buy stops his prey in the night, and he's
during the service, one of his nieces really wanted to speak, but I think we drag it on and Truc, cut it us off. He said, cut the crap, as I recall Troy mentioned that. So I would like to bring his niece, who would like to say a few words back on the stage. Noah, please come up here. And now the nieces and nephew, please come up to give her the support. Please stand behind her. She can use your help here and energy.
This is the same speech I read last time, of which I've taken in many ways, but the best thing he changed about me was the way I looked at different aspects of things. Uncle Truc was always positive, kind and joyful, and many more. He always tried to make bad times brighter. That was the type of person he was. He always taught me to be respectful, kind, and responsible. I changed the way I do almost because of him. He was always there for me when I needed help with problems or just to talk to someone. He always looked for different ways to help people, like donating to charity or doing charity work. He was a role model for me to look up to. He put family or even people he doesn't know well before himself. He always cared for people, even if they are bad people sometimes. So now I look at things differently because of him. He was forever changed the way I look at things, and I will never forget how he helped me and my family to better our life and hundreds other people's lives that he has impact, and he will always be there. Even in spirit, you will always have a special place in my heart, Uncle Truc.
I think you guys have a poem that come along with it, am I correct?
So this poem, when we were cleaning my uncle's house after he passed, it was found on his desk. Later, I was gifted this poem, and now I have it by my bedside and I read it every night. The poem is Dare to Be, and I don't know, whenever I'm feeling down, missing my uncle or just school or something, I read it and it brightens my day, so I hope it brightens your day as well. When a new day begins, dare to smile gratefully. When there is darkness, dare to be the first to shine a light. When there is injustice, dare to be the first to condemn it. When something seems difficult, dare to do it anyway.
When life seems to beat you down, dare to fight back. When there seems to be no hope, dare to find some. When you're feeling tired, dare to keep going. When times are rough, dare to be tougher.
When love hurts you, dare to love again. When someone is hurting, dare to heal them. When another is lost, dare to help them find a way. When a friend falls, dare to be the first one to extend a hand.
When you cross paths with another, dare to make them smile. When you feel great, dare to help someone else feel great too. When the day has ended, dare to feel as you've done your best. Dare to be the best you can at all times. Dare to be.
Thank you, boys and girls. That was beautiful. I'm sure you heard it loud and clear from you guys. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
No question.
Boy.
Oh, okay. So I introduced Truc's youngest nephew earlier, but he wasn't around, so Dominic would like to say a few words Dominic, where are you, buddy? Yeah, can you hold the mic? Okay, put it close to your mouth. Now say something. Louder.
No.
Thank you. Oh. You miss Uncle Truc?
I want to do it.
Who is your favorite uncle beside Uncle CD? Who's your favorite uncle?
Daddy.
Uncle Daddy.
What did you give him? Lots of candies. His older brother James would like to dedicate his special song to Uncle Truc as well, so please enjoy. Right in front of everybody. Well done, bud. Well done. So the next person needs very, very little introduction. I keep asking him to make a promise, no tears tonight, okay? Because you've been crying for the last 365 days. You have had so many dreams, good dreams, bad dreams, wonderful dreams, and a lot of memories. I would like him to come up and share his wonderful memories with his younger brother, Truc. Please welcome Troy to the stage.
With Joe, I think I prepared about a few pages as well, so please bear with me here. Lot to say, you know, with Joe and Chris, so I'm trying to keep it up as long, but hopefully as meaningful, Joe, you know. Like CD said, I promise, but I don't think I can keep, because I will cry. 365 days, 3 hours, approximately 45 minutes, we heard the news that turned our world upside down. Bao nhiêu giọt nước mắt mới đủ cho một người cha, một người mẹ để khóc cho con. You know, they say, one of the hardest thing is that we lost someone we love dear to us. Bao nhiêu giọt nước mắt ba má phải khóc cho con, một người con hiếu thảo, vẹn tròn. Bao nhiêu giọt nước mắt em và anh phải khóc cho em. Bao nhiêu giọt nước mắt một người cháu, một người chú bao dung, bảo vệ, che chở cho các cháu. Bao nhiêu giọt nước mắt để cho người bạn tốt và trung trực. Bao nhiêu giọt nước mắt mình phải khóc, mình thương nhớ một người còn yêu dấu với cộng đồng và xã hội. Bao nhiêu giọt nước mắt mới đủ. Hôm nay chúng ta đến đây không chỉ là ngày giỗ đầu tiên của Truc, mà là hôm nay đến đây để chúc mừng một cuộc sống viên mãn, vẹn toàn, tươi đẹp. Đó là lý do tại sao ta đến đây hôm nay. Christopher Reeve có nói một câu như vậy: khi mà mình có thể chọn một cái hy vọng là tất cả mọi việc có thể hy vọng. Cho nên anh muốn nói với Truc, anh nói với Truc là anh cứ tiếp tục hy vọng. Cái này chỉ là một cái giấc mơ. Chỉ là một giấc mơ mà anh sẽ tỉnh lại. Nhưng anh biết sự thật là đời sống nó như vậy, vô thường. Nhưng anh tiếp tục hy vọng. Anh hy vọng là Truc ở nơi nào đó cũng đang vui vẻ, đang đi câu, đang đi chơi. Và cái quan trọng nhất là Truc được bao nhiêu người thương Truc y như nơi đây bây giờ. Anh tiếp tục hy vọng là những việc mà anh làm, gia đình làm và tất cả bạn bè của Truc hôm nay làm, Truc là hãnh diện. Truc hãnh diện là bởi vì chúng tôi tiếp tục duy trì những cái sự đẹp đẽ mà Truc để lại cho thế gian này. Nhất là lòng thương yêu với nhau, lòng tôn trọng với nhau. Bởi vì không ai có thể khẳng định được thời gian mình ở đây là bao lâu. Không ai có thể khẳng định được là lúc nào là thứ cuối cùng mình có thể ôm với nhau hay là cùng một ly với nhau. Cho nên trân trọng. Tuy nhiên Truc mất, đối với anh Truc không bao giờ mất. Bởi vì một linh hồn tốt như Truc, một linh hồn tốt như Truc, cũng như câu nói, thì không bao giờ chết. Đối với tôi, đối với anh, em mãi sống trong tôi, em mãi là huyền thoại. Cho nên một câu cuối cùng anh muốn nói với Trực là anh hãnh diện và tự hào vì Trực, vì những cái công việc mà Trực làm cũng như anh Cường mới nói hồi nãy là những công việc mà không ai phải cần biết mà Trực đã làm cho tất cả mọi người đây. Và cái đây là hình mà Trực thường khi mà Trực tại thế, Trực cứ nói khi mà tôi mất đi có ai nhớ đến tôi không, khi mất ai đi nói với chị vậy thì coi đi bao nhiêu người nhung nhớ em. So I spoke in Vietnamese, and at this time I would like to ask Lindsay to translate. Để con nói tiếng Anh. 365 days, I'll make it pretty short too, Liz. 365 days, 3 hours, approximately 45 minutes, same time this year. Our world will turn upside down. How much tears can we cry for a dutiful child? How much sorrow can we give to a brother who's selfless? How much love and sorrow can we give to an uncle who gives unconditional love to his nieces and nephews? How much sorrow should we give to a child of society who have nothing but offer himself to helping others? The poem that my niece and nephews just read, Dare to Be. I think many of us will see in part, Truc is there. I read the poem more than once myself, but I was just reading it. But Truc loves it. He loves that program. Dare to be the first to shine a light when someone is hurting. Dare to help when another is lost. Dare to help find the ways when a friend falls. Dare to be first to extend a hand when a friend falls. When you feel great, dare to help someone feel great too. That would be his word. Oftentimes he emphasized on that great. Christopher Reeve once said, "Once we choose hope, anything is possible." I've chose hope over and over again since Truc passed away. I hope this is just a nightmare. Truly, when I heard the news that I would wake up, it's been 365 days, there's not a day and I don't think of him like many of you have. I know you share with me. I continue to hope, even though I know the reality of life. So now my conversion to hope is that, Truc, wherever you are, I hope you are happy. Wherever you are, I hope that you get the love that you receive from here. Because, God damn it, you deserve it. And the place where you go, or where you are now, is beautiful, as opposed you chose to depart from us, Moosehead Lake. There's a few times in our conversations and with my wife and family, he started to question, will I be missed one day that I've left this earth? Just jokingly, you know how Truc is sometimes throw different wrenches to all of us. And of course we oftentimes joke, yeah, I know we will miss you. But Truc, we miss you.
Yep.
We miss you. There are many hopes that I have, but let me wrap my final hope is that we use Truc as a good example, was a bigger than life figures, and yet gone within second. I am reminded that anything can happen to any of us. He continued to inspire and nurture us in the sunset. Love those around you, because enjoy life, live to the fullest, and that's what he did. I only hope that we continue to make you proud of the work that we have done and continue to do to serve others and help others as you did. My hope is that one day, if my time expires, I will get to see you again. In the meantime, you will always, always live in me. Your soul, your spirit will never perish. Oftentimes you call someone, and we joke a few times, the myth, the man, or in that order, the legend. To me, you will forever be the legend. I love you always. On behalf of Truc today, it happened to also be Father's Day. I wanted to relate a happy Father's Day to Papa Huynh and to all of you. As I know how much love you have given. Today is also Father's Day. It's suited our family's heart that you are here today. It speaks volume, and I understand the sacrifices you all had to be here today. And forever, the Huynh family is grateful for your presence. At this time, I'd like to raise our glass. And on behalf of Truc, thanks for the memory, and let's cheers to his legacies. We all love you, Truc.
Kính thưa quý vị, gia đình Huynh chúng tôi hôm nay rất là hãnh diện. Tôi nghĩ rằng quý vị vẫn còn thương con tôi, cho nên quý vị mới đến. Tôi chỉ có một lời nói cuối cùng của tôi: thành thật cảm ơn và cảm ơn.
So Papa would just want to relate it back. He knows how much each one of you loves Truc, and your presence means a lot to him. Once again, thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart on behalf of the Huynh family. So now I would like to introduce back to Bess for her final song, What a Wonderful World.
What?
My father. My father's probably passed out.
Hope he's up. Hope he's up.
He goes to bed at like 7:30, so.
Come visit, not to work, visit. Okay?
Just to hang out?
Just to hang out. Unfortunately.
Yeah, if he's not at work, I'm not going.
Unfortunately with me.
We will make it a point, I promise.
I see the moon for you, and I think to myself, What a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also in the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? Can't really say I love you. I hear babies cry, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
So do any of you don't mind turn off the lights, and here's your task for each one of, actually each table. So I want each table to have a representative. Ask yourself, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I mention the word truc? Okay? So I'm going to walk around the table. I'm going to ask each one of you to speak on behalf of your own table. All right? Shall we?
All right, wait, hey.
Do any of you don't mind turn off the lights? I'm going to start with the table back there. That's perfect, Glenn. Who is the speaker on the table? Okay. Okay. So what is the first thing that comes to your mind when we say truc?
They're so
So make sure we remember this, please. Do not forget this. All right, next table, who's the representative here? Warm. Warm. Can anybody hear that? Warm. Okay. Next table.
Nate, this is you. Over it. For sure.
Well, he called me Mama Goose.
Mama Goose. Okay. I'll take that. Who's the representative over here? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's him? Oh, man, that was a good one. Okay, I'll take that.
Still my dad's.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Every year, Mama would send down over egg rolls, and we would make 2 chocolate pies and try who would bring them to a holy jump. We love them.
We love it. Okay, thank you. Next table.
Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for the invite. Okay. Anybody?
What a real man would fill in the blank.
I'll take that. Want to say something?
As Truc would say, I'm the man.
I'm the man. Okay. All right. Next one. Sister. Caring. That's wonderful. I'll try to move as fast as I can here. Love.
It's vibrant and full of life.
Yellow shorts.
Chị khỏe không?
Chị khỏe không? Wow.
An inspiration to all.
Inspiration to all. Okay.
Tough and committed.
Tough and committed. Who's on this?
Taking turns with them and every time you see.
Community pillar and loving brother, son, uncle, and everything else to his family.
Who's over here?
Alright, quite a bit to say with Truc, but Truc's always been my little brothers. I always hang out with Joyce. This Truc is like a year behind me, so I rarely pay attention to him. I always with Joyce, and he's always, like Patrick said, he's the little big guy. No. I mean, for everyone else he's small, but for us he's big. So he's, I guess, what's his nickname at home? Tun? Is that right? Like, we call him the butt man. He's out from what, right? It's like, he's like, you know that. And I mean, the last time I ever remember Truc is, I think at this sister Jihad's party, and he walked up to me and said, "You are one of the strongest kids I ever know." He always said it to me every time he see me, and I said, "Really?" That's the last thing I ever remember Truc ever said to me. You're the strongest kids I ever know.
He said the same thing to me.
Oh, really? Oh, that's special, right? Oh,
Yeah, right here.
all right.
Thank you, home. Yeah. Anybody over here? Caleb, you want to say something about Uncle Truc? Fish. Fishing!
Yeah. Oh, it's right there. Yeah.
So the bottom line here is, how much do we know Truc? So we've been cleaning his apartment, and I came across something that I would like to share with you guys, okay? So stay there. Let me play you a little video. This is what I found in his apartment. I'm not lying.
Of course. Oh, look at that. That's me. Who's that?
Can anybody see this? Yeah. Okay. You recognize the person or the people there? It's on, right? Okay. Bluetooth is on. Hold on, folks. Sorry. I love technology. Bluetooth. Samsung. Here we go. All right. 6. David, I was hoping to get this. Yeah. Oh, he knows a lot more than I do. Here we go. Already. Yeah, perfect.
Did you know this was coming?
No, I did not. This is not on the agenda. Not on the agenda.
They say we're young and we don't know. Won't find out till we go. Well, I don't know. All that's true. 'Cause you got me, baby, I love you.
relationship that we didn't know. Now the truth came out. But in honesty, on February 8th, Truc, I'm not sure you remember, February 8th of 2015, that was James' first birthday. And Truc showed up and did this nasty strip video between Truc and I making love. And I watched that video. I'm like, dude, that was funny, but it was embarrassing. But I said to myself, I'm gonna take revenge one of these days. And I said, wait till your wedding. Wait, that turn will come. I wish I could do it on his wedding day. But I did. On his celebration day, right? We love him. So many of you have asked this question during your speeches, and especially Truc. Where are you, brother? Where are you now? And I've been thinking a lot over the last year, just like everyone else. Reflection. And with everything that he has done for each one of us, for the community that he served, for the family that he loved. So I'm like, where is this guy? Where's this kid? Cậu mở cũng có câu hỏi thắc mắc, đứa con mình đang ở đâu phải không? Nên con dùng thời gian này con cũng suy nghĩ. Nên con hy vọng là với cái sự giúp đỡ của người bạn là Lan Bảo, tụi con vẽ lên một cái hình ảnh. Truc. He told me to cut the crap.
Almost made it.
That is totally him.
So, yeah, see, I think it's good.
Got it.
The other one's working, I think.
Hello? Okay. So, with a friend, with a helper from my friend, we collaboratively come up with this idea just to show you where Truc is. So this is where he is today. That's where he is. We love you, brother. I know you rest in peace. Welcome home. Everyone around you look down on you and embrace it. I look up on you. Okay. Thank you, Truc. So with that being said, we concluded the program today. Thank you again for coming. We're gonna get together outside of the, there's 2 flags out there. If everyone could grab a sparkler on your way out. Leslie, will you give instruction? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. There's one more person who would like to say something, Patrick. So Patrick, please come up.
I gotta hustle.
No worry, there will be battery left for you.
I thought I was off the hook, and then the last thing holding up from going home, so I'll be quick. Good evening, I'm Patrick, I'm a friend of Truc's. I'll make it super fast, because I think a lot of us have collectively captured the spirit. I can tell a bunch of stories, but I'll tell 3 quick ones and what they represent to me. The first time I met Truc, some of the gentlemen in this room gave me a really great opportunity to come back home to Maine and work. And everyone said, hey, you're gonna go work with the hardest working guy in insurance. And I was like, well, I wanna be better than the hardest working guy in insurance. So I said, hard work, right? That was the lesson. So I got to the office at 6:03. I have a weird memory with times. And I walk into the Portland office in Monument Square, and out walks Truc holding out his watch. And he looked at me and he said, wow, showing up this late, you must be working some banker's hours. I was like, 6:03 Monday morning, so Truc taught me a lot about hard work. The other thing was about family, and he always asked me about my brother who lived with me. One day I show up after a very long day, and Truc's at my house in Wells, having dinner with my brother. And I walked in and I was like, "Is there enough for 3?" And he said, "No, you were not invited." And he was on the couch with my brand new, very, very skittish shelter puppy, rubbing his belly and keeping him very happy. And my brother and him had a great night, and he left. And I said to my brother, do you talk to Truc? He's like, "Yeah, I've been talking to Truc like 5 nights a week for the last 2 months." I was like, I knew nothing about it. And so what Truc taught me there was, you can always help it and brighten somebody's day. And that really meant a lot to my brother, to get to spend some time with someone he had never met. And then the third thing is, who here is going to text from Truc with an address and a time and be there?
Yep.
Actually, I got that by accident. LFK.
Right?
By accident.
So I would take him up on that as much as anybody would. And sometimes it would be trying a new restaurant in the Old Port, sometimes an afternoon at Jason and Megan's pool, and sometimes it would be helping a total stranger move. So if I helped you move, and I haven't seen you since, good to see you again.
And you'll get there first.
Every time, I probably helped 30 people in the local community here move that I have never met or seen since. And the quick lesson I learned from that is that you always have time to help a complete stranger and help make their day better. And a lot of times it was people that were first-time homeowners that could not afford the opportunity for movers. And I am pretty good at lifting washing machines by myself, learned that the hard way. But that's really what Truc was to me. I could talk about it. I spent a lot of time with him, way more than he wanted. I spent a lot of Monday evenings. As a guy that moved to Portland, did a lot of folks, I spent a lot of Monday evenings eating some great Vietnamese food, meeting some great people. And I just was so honored to be a part of today. And thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. And thank you all.
So before we head out there, Beth has her final song, I Am Light. So this is the perfect ending song here. Please stay around and enjoy her last song, and then we go out and do the sparklers.
Voices in my head, I am not the pieces of brokenness inside. I am light, 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that caused me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light, I am light, I am light, So light, oh, light. I am light, I am light. I am light, I am the divinity divine. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Thank you, Russ. So now we can just all walk out that way, and our niece, our nephew, who's passing out the sparkler, so please grab one on your way out. We'll meet you guys at the flag post. Where the booze is.
Hey, great job. No better person. All right.
You always walking.